Okay, so welcome back to my channel. We are here to review Ready to Love, episode 7, The Exes. And guess what? I have, for the first time, watched the episode and done my review and uploading it the night that the episode aired. Guys, this is awesome and amazing. So, I don't know. That week that we had to take before we got to see this episode, I kind of lost a little luster for the show during that break. So they need to think about that when they're doing these breaks. I understand when it's for a holiday, but between the cast doing their Instagram things and stuff like that, I mean, it kind of takes away from the show. But who am I? Just a viewer, just a watcher. But I did watch the show, but I just noticed that my energy for the show wasn't where it was 2 weeks ago, you know? So, we're going to go through the things that stood out to me in this episode, and let's just get into it. It's the wine bar for the ladies, and they start out discussing that situation between Dakia and Eric. Tommy says he's going to talk to him, and so we're going to see that. You had to have been over to see Kamisha reviews within this last 2 weeks because there was a lot of tea that has been dropped in this past 2 weeks, okay? We already knew that Eric self-eliminated before we saw this episode, and a lot of stuff has come out. There were text messages and things like that. So if you haven't caught up on that, definitely go over there and catch up on the tea. Anyway, you need to go over to Kamisha Reviews because I want you to hear for yourself and make sense of it and try to make sense of it yourself, okay? But we do see that Tommy talks to Eric and he does self-eliminate. And he says that he wasn't there to hurt anybody's feelings, and he heard that he hurt Dakia's feelings. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going on. We don't have the whole story, so who knows? Hopefully more will come out as we go along, as things do. But anyway, Eric self-eliminated. He took himself out of the thing. Now, you would think that means that nobody's going home, but oh no! Another dude is still going home. Tommy also tells them at the ladies' wine bar that their next assignment is to introduce their ex to their next. So up first is Joy. Joy's at Carmine's, and she's going to meet with Laverne and Clifton, which I really never took Laverne seriously as one of her connections, but okay. And I love Carmine, so that's what's up. But what I do not like is that they keep doing these group dates with the exes. Like, I don't get it. Now, I know that they can do them separately because Sabrina was able to have a separate one as well as a group one. So it's just weird. Like when a person comes in after the food is already on the table and trying to get into the conversation, it's just weird to me that they're doing it like that because I don't know. Why can't you just set up separate dates? Like, I don't understand. But I guess their whole goal is to put on the pressure and okay. Right off the break, Clifton is not feeling none of these exes' dates because he's like, I don't need to know anything, nothing these dudes have to say to me. Nothing these exes have to say to me is going to be worth my time. That's how Clifton looking at it. Plus, he said he got an issue with his past, and he know that a shoulder to cry on could be a blank to lay on. So, I don't know. So, Laverne gets there first to Joy's day, and he's already calling Clifton a nobody and putting on his superficial suit. And it's like... what else do we expect from Laverne? Laverne is very surfacey. He's that guy that you see. He's a guy that you work with, that you ride up in the elevator with, and you have like that 15-second conversation about how good the weather is and whatever great thing that we did on the weekend, and then you walk off. They are not showing any depth to Laverne at all. I don't know if that is how he is or if this is how they're portraying him, but what we're getting as viewers, they are really just playing him up like all he is superficial. The way that they also edited the conversation once Clifton got there, it kind of made it look like he came in with some irritation. Now, he doesn't want to be on this date with the ex, but, you know, they don't show us the whole date, so we don't really know how the vibe was or whatever. But at the end of the date, Joy's ex did say that as much as he hates to say it, Clifton is her type. Clifton does come with issues, but he's being honest about his issues and honest about his past. And Laverne came off superficial to the ex. So Laverne didn't win that round. So then Carmen and her ex meet with Paul and Donovan. Now, I have to say, Carmen and her ex, they walked up to the date hand in fucking hand. Like, Carmen, listen, I know that's right. That's all I'm going to say. I know that's all I'm going to say. Like, so he meets P.O. and Donovan comes in as well. And they all have a conversation. So at the end, like, Paul says that, you know, when the ex asks what their intentions are, and Donovan said he wants to allow her to be heard. Paul says that he wants her to spend a little bit of time as a girlfriend, a little bit of time as fiance, and he's going to make her his wife. Paul with the little smooth sayings. Well, at the end, Carmen's ex says that Paul seems like his personality is a little soft and he might not be able to handle her lifestyle. I can't wait to hear what P.O. has to say about Carmen's ex calling him soft. Like, he might already know that he did that, but now it's played and it's out there and we all seen it. Like, anyway, but he basically says that Donovan is a good fit for Carmen. So then you got Ace and her ex Devin. Okay, and then Ace meets with Tori and Laverne. Now, I just gotta say, Ace's ex is a cutie, and he was on point with his line of questioning. Tori seems to be a little bit off his game and a little bit uncomfortable in these situations. Throughout the whole episode, that's kind of what I picked up. Like, he just is like kind of giving up. Like, I'm here, but I'm not here. And they definitely edited this to make it look like he just gave up. But back to Ace's ex. He asked all the great questions. He broke it down. He is a cutie. Basically, at the end, his assessment was, if you want to lead in the relationship, pick Tori. If you want somebody that's going to lead, pick Laverne. But I have to say, I don't really see Ace with Laverne, and I don't really see Ace with Tori. I don't really think that Ace's person is there. But that's just me, my opinion as a viewer. So then Sabrina meets with her ex, Milton, and they actually have two separate dates, and they get to meet with Demetrius by himself on one date, and then on the next date they meet with Tori and Donovan. I don't feel like it's right, as I said last season, to have to meet the exes on group dates. So they have the date with Demetrius, and then they have the date with Donovan and Tori. And Tori didn't have any questions. I feel like, listen, it's always good to have questions. Even when you're going to apply for a job, you need to have at least 2 to 3 questions to ask these people. So, like, Donovan gets there late, but he's killing it. He's killing it. He looked so chill and comfortable at this date, and he was asking questions, and he made a good impression. Sabrina's ex was like, you know, Donovan is going to make you the most happy, and he used the term blowout, like it's a blowout. But then he also said Demetrius would be good for her too, but Demetrius is kind of structured. But it was clear that he liked Donovan for her. Now, I agree with that. I think her and Donovan would make a cute couple. So then Tina's ex BJ, I think his name was, he meets Paul and Demetrius, and Paul is shocked that Demetrius is even there because he didn't know she had a connection with him. So, to me, her ex was like really, really dropping the dime on her. Like, we didn't get to see all the conversation, but it just didn't, the way they edited it didn't look like he was on her side. He was talking about how she got anger issues and talking about how she broke stuff. But then she also mentioned that this was like back in like high school. They've known each other since high school, but I wonder, like, how many of these people actually call recent dates. I don't think any of them do, because it's probably still something there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really trust this person to come on TV. So this is all weird to me. I don't know. Last season, we were like, okay, who's a real ex, who's not a real ex? This season, I'm not really getting that, but I'm just getting, okay, when was y'all together? But Tina's ex was like, she holds on to stuff and just talks about her anger or whatever. And Paul kind of walked away thinking, you know, well, he didn't say that she was ready to love. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Tina was one of the curveballs that came in towards the end, and now she's hanging in there. So we'll see what happens. So then Clifton has an interesting date with Nakia and her ex. what was interesting to me is that Clifton was rubbing on her legs and she was holding his hands there, and they had a very strong physical connection. So I know I said this last season that people was hunching, and I don't know who y'all think hunching this season. They didn't really say anything. They didn't really talk about him afterwards. So, or maybe I missed it. I just know Dakia loves herself some Clifton, so we'll see. So then now they're back at the ladies' lounge. They're doing a deliberation to figure out what dude is going to go home. Now, in my mind, it has to be Laverne or Tori, because they both just were kind of lackluster on these recent dates with the exes. Like, Laverne was trying too hard and Tori wasn't trying hard enough. So it's wild that a dude is still leaving after Eric's self-eliminated. But, I mean, we do have some dead weight on the show right now. So that's the two that it comes down to. Dakia meets with Tori, and Sabrina goes to meet with Laverne. Now, if you've been watching the show, you've seen that clip where Sabrina's leaving out all upset. Well, now it's time. This is where she is pissed off and leaving the situation. I knew it was Laverne. I could tell it was Laverne. We already knew that. So Laverne comes in like, oh, I already found out that Sabrina and Tina and Carmen was thinking about getting rid of me. And so he comes in with a big attitude. Sabrina tries to hug him and he daps her up like, no, he's already salty, okay? And so he like, I already know what this is. Just tell me I'm ready to love, and we won't have to make it awkward. We can just go on our way. And so Sabrina's kind of caught off guard because she's like, can we just have a conversation? And then when she leaves, she says that he disrespected her, and he knows what he knows what he did. And so she rolls out. They asked, production looks like had asked Laverne to apologize, and he said no. And so it just don't look good. And he's basically, he needs to figure out why he is only surfacey and why he can't connect with people on a deeper level, because that's not the attitude to have. Like, yeah, it's a process, and yeah, you know, you might have heard something, but at the end of the day, you really can't make decisions off of hearsay. So, I mean, shouts out to Laverne. Hopefully, you know, they work through that or whatever, but I hope that he's not like writing off all women for his experiences with some women. But I digress. But I will say that I want to see that whole conversation. Y'all know I always be like, I wonder what they left out. What did production leave out? Because clearly it wasn't just a 5-minute conversation, but I would like to hear that whole conversation. And Sabrina called him a little petty, spiteful man. I thought she was going to say little petty, spiteful smurf for some reason. I don't know. But I know Laverne is probably mad about this, but he has to realize that this is how he's coming off. Like, we're seeing him exactly like she said. And he might turn out to be a little bitter man. Like, I don't know, man. I hope it doesn't turn out like that, but that's what I got out of that episode. So next week, the guys are introducing the girls to their friends. So Phil, for you guys that watched the last season, Phil is Donovan's friend, so he's coming on the next episode because he's already been through the process, so he can really give him some advice. But Donovan is doing great. Donovan, like I told y'all, was going to do a really good job at dealing with these multiple dates, and he just slid right on in, and he got his connections easy peasy. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised, but I guess next week is going to be interesting. Not as interesting as I hope. Like I said, I'm losing a little bit of my luster for this show right now. I'm just trying to get through to the reunion, because now I'm just like, okay, all right. I don't know. Am I the only one feeling like that? Comment down below. I mean, I'm going to continue reviewing it because I want to see what happens, but I'm not all like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. We'll see what happens next week. But my top 3 dudes this week, I don't have a top 3 dudes this week. I know, it's unfortunate, guys. I promised you top 3 dudes and top 3 women, but the men have not been, I don't know. But my top 3 women for this week is Sabrina's still in my top. Joy is still in my top. And Carmen is in my top this week because Carmen walked in to that date hand in hand with her ex. And so Carmen is like, okay, it's something there. It's something else going on. It's something going on there or whatever. I'm interested to see, who Carmen ends up with. I'm still feeling the kid too, but now the kid's down to one connection, which is Clifton. And so we're gonna see which way Clifton goes, because Joy's already in there. But Clifton, I don't know, he was feeling on the kid's knees pretty hard. So anyway, that's all I got for y'all this week. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.